Bajrang Rathi, IAS, Varanasi Smart Cities, Mr. Aditya Singh, CEO, Bhopal Smart Cities Limited, and Mr. Nitin Sangwan, IAS, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is actually my extreme pleasure and honor to be on stage with such an esteemed panel of CEOs from Smart Cities Pan India. And I'm completely humbled to be here looking at the kind of work that you've been putting in and the speed with which the smart cities have developed and created an impact in the lives of citizens today. We all understand smart cities are not an outcome, but a journey of changes, of challenges that need to be taken up so that the citizens have a great economic and a social vital environment. I will not spend too much time on this and would like to begin the session by giving you all initially 10 minutes probably to speak about your cities and how you have, as leaders, helped these cities achieve their vision. So first we have Dr. Garima Mittal, CEO, Faridabad Smart City. Please, ma'am, would you like to?
नमस्कार सभी को. So I'll take this opportunity to answer and also to comment and suggest on all the inputs that I had from today morning. I have been with Faridabad Smart City for last 1.5 years, and I have been trying to understand what it means and what is the way forward. I have a presentation. I will love to run it after 2 minutes. So just one-to-one discussion as in what is the perspective that I have gained in last few years. There was a detailed discussion about the Indian context of smart cities. Whenever an Indian goes to a foreign country, London, they go and say, wow, what a beautiful road. But if suppose that road is outside your home, what will you say? Oh, wow, that's Faridabad, that's Ahmedabad. Sense of pride, respect. Isn't it what we mean by smart city? When you talk about daily citizen, local existence, probably that's what we are looking for. We have special problems. Everyone has. We have special solutions. As rightly said in the first session, probably we have to find our own solutions. What have we learned at Faridabad Smart City? Maybe 4 points here. When I came, I saw my predecessor has done great work in getting some paintings done at the flyovers. The problem was multiple posters were pasted. We could issue challans, we could give it in media request, but I think that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Solution, self-sustainable solution. What we could find, I mean, that's the positive for the smart city. We have technology available thanks to the industry. We have all the technologies available, options open, people to tell us, which usually doesn't happen otherwise. We made a very innovative project where till 8 feet height, that means a normal person's height plus the hands raised, you cannot touch the painting. So no vandalism. Trying to do that, we should go for zero vandalism. The painting is laminated. So if you paste a poster over there, we can wash it out. Also, it will be laser printed. Photographs will be from Shutterstock or good companies. So it will be very quality. Legally, it will be all correct to have these printed. And so finally, 2 days before, we are able to finalize our tender. And it has been approved in the BOD. We are going to allot the tender very soon. Maybe in a few months, you will see it on Faridabad. Main road, NH, you will see metro pillars being covered by laser printed sheets at 8 feet height with beautiful photographs, and there will be multiple panels. So that is one of the learnings from the vandalism. Second was, we had Long, big projects, gestation period of around 2.5 years. 300 CR smart roads. Big projects. Everyone is asking us, where is the output? Where is the smart road? So long, where is the output? You have almost digged out the whole city. So we learned. We learned, in fact, from Gwalior, I should say. Credit should be given. We learned from Gwalior that go for pilots. So we selected only 500 meter. Only 500 meter out of this 32 kilometer span. We made a beautiful road out of it. We designed the pavers, colored the pavers. We made the designs in the railings. We got it completed to the, from the scratch to end. Maybe it took something like 6 months, but it was beautiful. Everything, all the electrical fixtures were underground, ducted. And now, when the people saw what it can be, they said, we are ready to wait. If this is the quality of work you're going to give us, yes, we will wait. So there was a kind of support, there was a kind of understanding, there was a kind of a demonstration effect that we had. So we started doing our pilots. So when everyone asked me how you actually implement, these are the ground level learnings, cross learnings that happen in smart cities. Otherwise, in the administration, probably we are always limited to Haryana, what Gurgaon is doing, what Karnal is doing, what Panchkula is doing, maximum what Chandigarh is doing, what Punjab is doing, or maybe Delhi. So we never get to interact with probably Telangana, Ahmedabad, Vadodara as we do in here. Thirdly, very interesting. We have an ICCC, huge setup for last probably 1 year. When you ask me what to do, the industry tells us we have a software, we will have people employed, this much expenditure. Okay, fine. But smart city is about industry plus administrative wisdom. So what we started doing was, instead of sitting in a normal room, we started sitting in the ICCC for some days. When we used to go up there, we used to sit there, try to observe what's going on, how the things are moving. One day, post rains, we just saw half of our cameras show flooding, half of the cameras are okay. What a beautiful set of information for the MCF commissioner. So we simply give him a call and said, sir, we need an operator from your side and he can give you the real-time information to your SC. And the SC was also given a call by the MCF commissioner. We had an operator. The operator is till date with us. So every day he made a report of where the flooding is, at what level, is it critical, mild, or absolutely not there. And he used to report real time to the SC. And the SC told us earlier this information used to come from the public grievance. Now we have the real time information and we can actually mobilize our team. To 20% of area, 80% of our team can move to the 20% of area. So I think just 2 phone calls, 1 operator could do and give us results. So I will show you in the presentation how we have a monthly graph or even the daily graph of how the rainfall happened last year. So year on year, we will have a very good data of the monsoons from the ICCC different locations, very specific real-time data which has been tabulated. Lastly, when you talk about COVID, yes, COVID, we were ready. We could give more from less. But when you ask me, we have used the ICCC only when it was a step up. Technology is a tool. Technology is not the end in itself. So what we did was very simple. Wherever we had a gap and technology offered a solution, we went for it. We had multiple state and the central portals giving us data. We used our ICCC for synchronizing everything. Multiple portals opened, analyzed, given out a proper report, daily report. It was very useful for the administrator, basic reports. Secondly, we had the bed management system, how many beds, where they are empty, where they are available, which CSC. It was all there on our ICCC. It was very useful. Initially, we had an idea that we will need multiple beds. So that was the time when we actually used our bed management. Thirdly, this is the point, how small little technological things can really help us. We had the facility, it is a very low hanging fruit. Webinars with 100 RWAs. We have a technology, we ask the chief engineer, MCF to sit in the ICCC and talk to 100 RWAs at one go. क्या करना है, कहाँ से उठाना है, क्या mask की precautions है, what's the latest government's guidelines, what you have to tell to the general public, how are we handling it in Faridabad, One-way traffic, simple links given on WhatsApp from their, we have the phone numbers, and within a half a day we have everything ready, good to go. The chief engineer is directly talking to the RWA leaders, and so easy and so practical and useful. Also, after our first experience, now everything is there as a software available, and we can directly go for the, we utilized all the human resource, only technology for an upgrade. But now, after our first experience, everything is there available as a technology, complete end-to-end, solution. And if the second wave happens or the things goes for a, there is something, when the values again go for an uptick, probably we can now implement our solutions, technological solutions from end-to-end, which we didn't do in the first time. So I'll run through the presentation now. So in ICCC, yes, technology-wise, we have adaptive traffic control systems, red light violation detection, water logging, as I have already mentioned, street light monitoring, water SCADA, garbage detection, stray animal, crowd gathering. We have a robust city data policy, which to my last knowledge was with around 17 cities in India, and we have studied almost most of them. And also from Madhya Pradesh, we have a state level data policy, we have read that too. We have a Smart City Fellowship Program and IUDX, I'll just mention it in a while. This is our ICCC working for surveillance, lockdown surveillance, 24/7, police being deployed there in 3 shifts. We have 950 cameras covering 100 locations. We have been solving, we have been giving some video clips to the police. They have solved around 180 crimes based on it. Some important evidences have come out of it. We have ATCS, and I'll come to it in a while. So this is ATCS. So what happens in ATCS is, if there is a traffic on the road, the red light will be for a longer time, and if there is no traffic, the red light will be for the shorter time. So in this way, we have reduced the average delay from 33% to 53%. These are the outcome studies. It's possible in Smart City. It's a very easily doable thing by your consultant. The average travel speed increases from 20 to 23%. And there where it comes, it's not only the cost of the project, the saving is in the form of the fuel consumption is decreased, the time being saved. So it comes to 5.34 CR for our 2 project corridors. Total we have around 5 corridors. So you can imagine, if annually we are saving this much of amount, our investment into the project makes sense. So when you talk about sustainability, this is one of the things. We may not earn, but we are saving. Red light violation detection, we have an AI alerts. Every event is being covered wherever there is a red light and a vehicle is crossing. So we have the photographic evidence for each one of them. The police team is sitting there, they check, but we give a postal challan. So here, postal challan is because if we go for a direct challaning, sometimes at one location, we have around 4,000 red light violations also. So when we have such kind of situations, because we want knowledge, attitude and practice. So basically the people should change their attitude rather than just punishing them. So we have tried to give them a message by postal challaning that this is happening. And generally there is a message in the city that these cameras, government cameras, they don't work. So intermittently we give them information and we bring the media in the ICCC and show them each camera is working, each camera has a backup. And our systems in Smart City, they really work. And we have an O&M for another 5 years. So it will work for 5 years. So if you see a Smart City camera somewhere, beware. You will be having a red light alert somewhere coming for you. You may get a postal challan. So that is where we become smart. This is the water logging I was mentioning. Kindly see the data, the graphs that are being available now. This will be very useful in planning for the next monsoons also. This is the crowd management. We utilized it in during the lockdown. So city data policy. I personally believe after my experience in Smart City for last few years, I think we all as administrators should understand that data is new oil. And having said that, what does it mean actually for the administrator? We need to understand what it is, what is their jargon, what are their technicalities, what data can be shared, what are the types of data. I'm very sure most of us won't know about it. So a city data policy will give you an overall view. And when you study around 17 policies of all the cities, you get a fairly good view. This is the last point that I like to make. We had a Smart City Fellowship program. Government of India Smart City Mission selected Faridabad as one of the cities out of 6. And we had 3 fellows coming. One of them was data scientist. One of them was from Mexico, and another was a very smart lady who had a background in management. So all of these, they tried to mine some meta sets, clear sets from our ICCC data, which we were producing every now and then for last 1 year. I'm very happy to say that we were able to utilize our ATCS data. And here what we see, we have an automatic green corridor for emergency services. So using this data, we were able to provide some corridors which can be automated through the technology as a green corridor, where in emergency, the ambulances can go from point A to B. So because we have total 5 corridors, mostly half of the Faridabad will be covered in due course of time. Also, we were able to understand the density of, density of traffic and the quality of traffic. How many trawlers are there? How many cars are there? How many pedestrians are there at each location? So when you see Google Maps, the Google Maps gives you data based on the mobile feeds, the GPS feeds. But when you see this data, it is based on the infrastructure feed from the city. So this is more reliable. So when this happens, as the fellows were telling me, many of the startups are interested in buying our data. As such, this is how we plan to monetize and sustain our ICCCs in long term. The data will be actually going to IODEX, where the government will take a call to host it, and thereafter the process to give it to the startups or not to give it or what to give it, that call will be taken. We have also tried to utilize it for the entry-exit points for Faridabad, because there were multiple entry-exit points. So from where, which time the traffic moves and what improvements we have to do. I think it's a gold mine. I mean, utilizing this kind of data, huge amount of money can flow in the smart city and make it sustainable. As you can see, these 2 slides basically wants to show that when a foreign software is being run or foreign model is being run, we have some alerts coming. As in, if you can see, this is the bus is shown as a car because the model is not equipped to the Indian conditions. So we're trying to improve these softwares also, and seemingly that also has a market with the navigation startups. So in the end, I like to conclude that undoubtedly smart cities, 100 smart cities, they are the lighthouses. It's a very organic ecosystems with these kind of conferences happening, learning, cross-learnings. We're discussing with the industries, real-time information, real-time technologies. We are getting apprised with. So I think this is something that has not happened in administration for long, and it is the way forward if we have to be dynamic in our approaches. And that's it. I mean, a smart city is basically industry plus administrative wisdom. Every one of us are learning, and I think it's gonna be maybe in 2031, as the discussion in the morning was going, we'll be very apt in taking it to a mission mode. All the learnings, what I have learned in Gwalior, I'm trying to implement here. What I'm gonna hear from probably Chennai, how beautifully they have done their pavements, or my visit to Vijayawada. All of these being incorporated as in the administrative experience, and it will be, it will help us in working in other departments also, as in what is available in the market per se. So Smart City has been a great experience, I think, for every one of us. Thank you, everybody.
I know there's been a lot of work which has happened over the past 5 years, and 10 minutes is a very short time to actually talk about the achievements, the challenges, and the ups and downs that you all have faced. With that, I would request Mr. Nitin Sangwan, CEO of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, to please come and talk about what they have been able to achieve in Ahmedabad.
Thank you, Nitika ji. स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन के बारे में प्रीवियस स्पीकर डॉक्टर गरिमा मित्तल जी ने भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें बताई हैं. स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन में काफ़ी सारे कंपोनेंट हर एक जो भी 100 शहर हैं उनमें काफ़ी कॉमन रहेंगे. अहमदाबाद में भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हमने किया है, उनका एक ग्लिम्स अभी मैं आपके सामने प्रेजेंट करूँगा. ख़ास तौर पे कोविड के टाइम पे हमने कैसे स्मार्ट सिटी के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को यूज़ किया और कोविड मैनेजमेंट में इससे हमें हेल्प हुआ, उसके बारे में भी मैं चर्चा करूँगा। तो बेसिकली अगर मैं अहमदाबाद की बात करूँ तो अहमदाबाद इंडिया का पहला वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज सिटी है यूनेस्को के द्वारा। पिछले लगभग 2 साल से अहमदाबाद नंबर 1 स्मार्ट सिटी रहा है और इस साल रिलीज हुए ईज़ ऑफ लिविंग इंडेक्स में अहमदाबाद तीसरे नंबर पे है। तो मेजर जो प्रोजेक्ट हमने ले रखे हैं उनमें सबसे बड़ा जो एक हमारा बेंचमार्क प्रोजेक्ट है उसका नाम है सेफ एंड सिक्योर अहमदाबाद। जो गरिमा मैम ने भी बात किया कि शहर में कैसे ट्रैफिक डिसिप्लिन को लेके आए हैं स्मार्ट सिटी के प्रोजेक्ट से, कैमरा इंस्टॉल करके पूरे शहर में। तो हमारे भी पूरे शहर में लगभग 7,000 के करीब कैमराज इंस्टॉल्ड हैं। और एक हम अहमदाबाद शहर के बारे में एक बात करते हैं कि हाउ स्मार्ट सिटी विल चेंज बिहेवियर ऑफ पीपल एंड हाउ द चेंज इन बिहेवियर विल लीड टू चेंज इन द एंटायर सिनेरियो इन सिटी। तो उसके लिए ट्रैफिक डिसिप्लिन एक जो इम्प्रूव हुआ है 7,000 कैमराज के उससे, दैट हैज़ बिन ट्रिमेंडस। और उससे इनकम भी हुआ है, मोर देन 50 लाख रुपीज़ की इनकम इन चालान के थ्रू हम अब तक जनरेट कर चुके हैं। एंड अनलाइक हम अभी दिल्ली में हैं, दिल्ली में रिसेंटली एक फ्रेंड का चालान कट गया था। तो जब उसने ऑनलाइन पे करने के लिए गया वहाँ पे तो इट वाज स्लाइटली डिफ़िकल्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, क्योंकि उनके घर पे जो चालान आया था उसमें उनका प्रूफ नहीं है, फोटोग्राफ नहीं है। यू ओनली गेट ए चालान। आपके बार मन में सेटिस्फेक्शन नहीं होता है कि आपका में भी कोई काउंटर फीट नंबर प्लेट यूज़ किया हुआ है। बट इन अहमदाबाद यू गेट ए रियल टाइम फोटोग्राफ ऑन टू दैट, और एक उसी में लिंक होता है कि आपको कहाँ पे जाके पे करना होता है। एंड देयर इज एन ऑप्शन ऑफ अपील ऑल्सो। आई थिंक दैट इज़ हाउ स्मार्ट सॉल्यूशन शुड बी वर्किंग। If I talk about some other benchmark initiatives, then Ahmedabad was the first city in India to introduce this city card payment system, जो कि वन नेशन वन कार्ड के रूप में अभी पूरे इंडिया में जिसको अडॉप्ट किया गया है। So in Ahmedabad we implemented a smart light solution which is unique in the sense कि ऑलरेडी अहमदाबाद को पूरे को LED लाइट्स लगाए जा चुके थे स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग में, लेकिन उनमें रेट्रो फिटिंग करके एक कंट्रोलर लगा के कैसे वो स्मार्ट बनाया जाए, उनको दिन में लाइट ना जले उसका एक डायरेक्टली मैसेज आ जाए, कंट्रोलर ख़राब हो गया उसका एक मैसेज आ जाए, सिमिलरली लाइट ख़राब हो गई उसका एक मैसेज आ जाए। तो नाउ अभी हम विद इन 1 डे एक लाइट को रिप्लेस कर पा रहे हैं, और विद इन 1 डे अगर उसमें कंट्रोलर में खराबी आ गई है तो उसको रिप्लेस कर पा रहे हैं। तो जो सिटीज़न को एक बेसिक सर्विस मिलनी चाहिए। प्रीवियस सेशन में जो IIPA से मैडम थी उन्होंने बात किया था कि पहला हमारा फोकस होना चाहिए टेक्नोलॉजी पे नहीं, बल्कि कि हम जो सर्विस डिलीवरी है उसकी क्वालिटी क्या होगी। तो हमारे शहर में हमारा फोकस ये है कि जो सर्विस का डिलीवरी कर रहे हैं उसकी क्वालिटी पे इम्प्रूवमेंट कैसे होगा। जो बेसिक नेसेसिटी है हमारी, अगर हम उनको पहले पूरा करेंगे तो आई थिंक देन ओनली वी कैन क्लेम दैट कि हमारा शहर स्मार्ट है। एक बात और भी किया गया था कि कैसे सिटीज़ को प्राइवेट सेक्टर के साथ में काम करना चाहिए, कैसे जो एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं उनके साथ में रह के काम करना चाहिए। तो थोड़ा सा इस पर भी शेयर करना चाहूँगा कि लास्ट 2 ईयर्स में हमने उस दिशा में भी काम करना शुरू किया है। और आई थिंक हमने जो एक स्मार्ट पार्किंग ऐप एक छोटे से स्टार्टअप के साथ में मिलकर डेवलप किया था, और अभी बड़ी बड़ी इवेंट है जैसे कि नमस्ते ट्रंप हुआ, या फिर रिसेंटली क्रिकेट मैचेस हुए नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम में अहमदाबाद में, तो वो हमने उसके थ्रू सक्सेसफुली कंडक्ट भी किए हैं। नाउ दैट इज़ ए वेरी वेरी चीप सॉल्यूशन। स्मार्ट सिटी में कई बार क्या होता है कि जैसे वेंडर के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, टेंडरिंग के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, द सॉल्यूशन समटाइम्स बिकम वेरी वेरी एक्सपेंसिव। तो सॉल्यूशन अफोर्डेबल कैसे हो उस चीज़ के बारे में भी आई थिंक एवरी सिटी नीड टू फोकस। और रिसेंटली मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर ने एक सिटी इनोवेशन एक्सचेंज प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च किया है, जिसमें कि इस तरह के सॉल्यूशंस को आपस में एक्सचेंज कर सकें। तो उसमें भी हम कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, एंड वी होप टू लर्न फ्रॉम अदर सिटीज़ ऑल्सो। अहमदाबाद आई थिंक वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट सिटीज़ है जहाँ पे कि लार्ज स्केल के ऊपर में स्मार्ट टॉयलेट्स को इंस्टॉल किया गया है। ऑटोमेटिक टॉयलेट है, आप टॉयलेट के बाहर जाएंगे आपको अपने ऐप पे ही दिखाई दे जाएगा कि टॉयलेट वर्किंग है, एंगेज्ड है, उसका हाइजीन कैसा है, और आपको एक कॉइन के ऑपरेशन से वो खुलेगा, अदरवाइज टॉयलेट ओपन भी नहीं होगा। और उसका रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग कोई भी कहीं पे बैठ के कर सकता है। पब्लिक बाइक शेयरिंग की बात करूँगा। अभी एक थोड़ा सा फैशन चल रहा है पूरे देश में कि साइकिलें प्रमोट हो, साइकिल यूज़ करना चाहिए, लेकिन उस सॉल्यूशन को सस्टेनेबल कैसे रखें, क्योंकि मेरे हिसाब से अगर कोई मार्केट इकोनॉमी में हम जी रहे हैं, मार्केट इकोनॉमी को अगर वो कैटर नहीं करेगा और सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट फंडिंग से एक पब्लिक बाइक शेयरिंग सिस्टम चलेगा, तो आई थिंक द सिस्टम इज अल्टीमेटली बाउंड टू फेल। इन अहमदाबाद वी हैव अडॉप्टेड ए यूनिक लाइसेंस बेस्ड मॉडल, जिसमें कि हम एक बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और बेसिक फैसिलिटी हम ऑपरेटर को प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उसके अलावा कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट सारा ऑपरेटर का रहता है। तो उससे जो एक ब्रेक इवन का जो एक कैलकुलेशन है वो प्लेयर को खुद ही करना है। एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी टू शेयर कि पिछले 1.5 साल में हमारे पास में मोर देन 80,000 राइड्स हमारा हुआ है। एंड बोथ द प्लेयर्स, एक इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक का और एक नॉर्मल पैडल बाइक का जो ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, दे आर वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि दे विल मेकिंग प्रॉफिट वेरी सून। So if you talk about COVID situation in Ahmedabad, so it was not very different from other parts of country, and but there were certain initiatives that we took in Ahmedabad. जैसे कि कोविड के टाइम पे एक हेल्थ के ऊपर में क्या प्रेशर आएगा वो सबको दिखाई दे रहा था। वी हैड वेरी स्केरी पिक्चर्स कमिंग फ्रॉम इटली, फ्रॉम डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज। सो एट दैट टाइम एवरी सिटी इन इंडिया इंक्लूडिंग अहमदाबाद, वी वर स्लाइटली इन डाउट कि व्हाट विल हैपन इन आवर केस, बट we launched multiple initiatives so that the pressure on the city and the city infrastructure can come down. I will mention couple of them. एक उनमें था कि एक हमने इनिशिएटिव लॉन्च किया वडील सुरक्षा। वडील इन गुजराती मीन्स द ओल्डेस्ट पर्सन। तो उसमें उनकी स्पेशल नीड्स को कैटर करने के लिए एक स्पेशल हेल्पलाइन लॉन्च किया गया। सिमिलरली कोविड के जो साइकोलॉजिकल ट्रॉमा होता है उससे डील करने के लिए एक कोरोना सांत्वना यूज़ किया गया। हॉस्पिटल्स के ऊपर में थोड़ा प्रेशर कम हो, जो एसिम्टोमेटिक पेशेंट हैं उनके घर पे जाके उनको सर्विस मिले, तो उसके लिए हमारी एग्जिस्टिंग 104 सर्विस थी, उसको हमने यूटिलाइज़ किया। तो दीज आर द इनिशिएटिव एंड वी एक्चुअली टुक ऑन बोर्ड प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल। वहाँ पे एएमसी अहमदाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन के बेड्स हमने रिजर्व किए। आई थिंक दैट वाज द फर्स्ट इन इंडिया कि जो वहाँ पे किया गया, जिससे कि गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल के ऊपर में प्रेशर नहीं आया। और अहमदाबाद में कभी भी नहीं हुआ, इवन एट द पीक ऑफ द टाइम देयर वाज नेवर ए सिचुएशन कि किसी को हॉस्पिटल में एडमिशन मिलने में देरी हुई हो। द मोमेंट समबडी कॉल्ड ऑन 104 सर्विस, विद इन 1 आवर कहीं ना कहीं पे उनको बेड अवेलेबल था। सो दिस इज़ हाउ आई मीन, ऐसे ही अगर मैं इंक्लूसिविटी की बात करूं, क्योंकि कोविड के टाइम पे ऐसा हो गया था कि देखिए शहर हमारे हैं वो इकोनॉमिक इंजन है। मोस्टली जो भी एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट होता है आज के दिन वो शहरों के इर्द गिर्द में हो रहा है। तो हर एक की जो एक बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट है उसको कैटर कर पाएँ, उनका लाइवलीहुड कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ ना हो, इसलिए छोटी छोटी सर्विसेज जैसे कि मान लीजिए कि हर एक के घर पे सब्जी पहुंचना चाहिए, तो एक यूनिक वेजिटेबल ऑन व्हील स्टार्ट किया गया था। यू डायल ए नंबर एंड आपकी वेजिटेबल आपकी घर के बाहर या आपकी सोसाइटी में आ जाएगा। एंड जैसे मैंने आपसे बात किया संजीवनी घर सेवा, आप घर पे बैठे ही फ़ोन कीजिए, इट वाज लाइक एन ओपीडी एट योर डोर स्टेप। तो आपके घर पे ही के बाहर ही आपको ओपीडी मिलेगा। सिमिलरली अहमदाबाद में 155303 एक कॉरपोरेशन का एक कॉमन नंबर है, उसको हमने स्ट्रेंथन किया। इवन लॉकडाउन के दौरान पे किसी की भी सिविक अथॉरिटी से रिलेटेड कोई भी कंप्लेन था, वेदर इट इज़ वाटर, सीवेज, एनीथिंग, तो वो हमने वहाँ पे फैसिलिटेट किया। तो हमने डबल अपना स्ट्रेंथ किया एंड वी वर एबल टू हैंडल ऑल द कंप्लेंट्स एंड ऑल द ग्रीवेंसेस आल्सो। सो कोविड के लिए अहमदाबाद वाज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट सिटीज जिनका अपना खुद का डैशबोर्ड आया। और अभी भी आज भी आप अहमदाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन की वेबसाइट पे जाएंगे तो यू विल बी एबल टू सी द नंबर ऑफ बेड्स अवेलेबल इन द रियल टाइम एंड द नंबर ऑफ केसेज एंड नंबर ऑफ डिस्चार्ज। कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग के लिए सिमिलरली अहमदाबाद पुलिस की हेल्प से वी डिड दैट। एंड जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि अहमदाबाद में 7,000 से ज़्यादा कैमराज इंस्टॉल्ड हैं, और उन कैमराज की हेल्प से जहाँ पे भी क्राउडिंग हो रहा था उसको बिल्कुल रियल टाइम में हमने मॉनिटर किया और डिस्पर्स भी किया। जैसे कि आपको मैं एक फोटोग्राफ दिखाऊंगा यहाँ पे। बेसिकली इन दैट फोटोग्राफ द बिलो वन, विद इन 3 मिनट्स पुलिस के साथ में कोऑर्डिनेशन ICCC के थ्रू में इतना था हमारा कि 3 या 4-5 मिनट के अंदर तक भी क्राउड डिस्पर्स हमने किया है यहाँ पे। ई चालान की मैडम ऑलरेडी बात कर चुके हैं। तो हमारा जो सिस्टम है वी सेंड फोटोग्राफ इनटू दैट थिंग and accuracy is very very high. It's almost an automated system now. This is vegetable on wheel that we can see here. So here our Sanjeevani Corona Ghar Seva, this is our 104. लास्ट में मेरे को एक दो बातें करना है कि आगे शहरों में क्या होना चाहिए और किस तरह से हमें आगे मूव करना चाहिए। मेरे हिसाब से कोविड-19 के साल ने हमें 2-3 चीज़ें सिखाई हैं कि सिटीजन सर्विस के लेवल पे आई थिंक हम शहरों को काफ़ी चीज़ें इम्प्रूव करना है। आई मस्ट एडमिट कि अगर हम इंडिया में आज के दिन बात करें तो कितनी सारी सर्विसेज हैं जो कि हमें घर बैठे मिल पाती हैं। आज के दिन भी हमें छोटी छोटी चीज़ के लिए, चाहे बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट हो, डेथ सर्टिफिकेट हो हमारा, उसके लिए कहीं पे जाना पड़ता है। और उसके अलावा थोड़ी सी एडवांस सर्विसेज की अगर हम बात करें, फायर सेफ्टी सर्टिफिकेट लेना है, स्टिल वी आर वे बिहाइंड। आई थिंक दिस इज द टाइम दैट वी हैव रियलाइज, एंड इन द लास्ट 1 year अलोन वी हैव मेड मैनी सर्विसेज ऑनलाइन। जैसे कि आपको स्विमिंग पूल का एप्लीकेशन करना है, आपको फायर सेफ्टी सर्टिफिकेट लेना है, तो वी हैव ट्राई टू डू इन सच ए मैनर कि दैट इज़ सिटीजन फ्रेंडली एंड एंगेज देम। एक रियलाइजेशन और भी हुआ है कि कोविड के कारण से हमारा माहौल ऐसा रेस्ट्रिक्टिव ना हो कि लोगों की लाइवलीहुड अफेक्ट हो। तो स्मार्ट सिटी होने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि वी पुट सो मच सर्विलेंस बट एंड पीपल फील suffocated and their livelihood is lost. We have to realize, as the previous speaker also told in the previous session, कि किसी ने भी उन आर्टिस्ट के बारे में नहीं सोचा जो कि परफॉर्मिंग आर्टिस्ट हैं कि उनके लाइवलीहुड का क्या होगा। सिमिलरली, इफ़ यू आर पुटिंग curbs on say public transport, then can you think कि a person who is actually using public transport to earn his or her livelihood, उनका क्या होगा। तो these are the kind of factors that a city has to remain sensitive और उसके बिहाफ पे डिसीजन लेना रहेगा। So I think with these two thoughts, I am concluding my session. I believe I have not crossed 10 minutes that were allocated to me. And in the last, if there are any questions on regarding Ahmedabad, then I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Really something interesting points which came out in terms of not just the being able to match services for the citizens during the COVID period, but also generate mechanisms of monetizing those solutions in the long term. I would now call upon Mr. Gaurang Rathi, Varanasi Smart City, to please present his challenges and how they've been able to mitigate the same.
Thank you, Mr. Chabra. A very good afternoon to all of you and the esteemed guests who are there along with me on the platform. I think across these 2 days we would be listening to various facets that smart cities have been trying to address in different cities, 100 different cities in India. And we know a common theme is that we try to make the city smarter. That's the $1 million question, that how do we make the city smarter? The express concern of the talk or the topic that we had for today's discussion was that how are we responding to COVID and how was our response during COVID, and overall how we look to build the city addressing the common denominator of making the city smarter. So I had a couple of videos for you. Can we have the videos played first, and after that, maybe for a couple of minutes, I'll just discuss with you how do we see in Varanasi that we are trying to make our city smarter. That's not for Varanasi. I think we'll take a brief pause. We have another video, but before going on to that, I'll try to tell you as to how does it fit into the picture of making the city smarter. When we had the city plan edged out in 2016, way back, so it was basically answering the question of as to what my city wants. What did Varanasi actually want from smart city, and what are those questions that we need to address and answer if we were thinking of making the city smart. So basically, there were 5 pillars that the whole smart city plan paradigm has been based on. The first and the most important of them, and these all of these 5 are integrated, I must tell you before I start. So one of the most important one was Suramya Kashi. Now by Suramya Kashi, we mean basically making the city come to a level wherein the tourists who visit the city, as you all know, Varanasi is one of the most visited city in India, if not in world, and being one of the oldest city in the world and the oldest city in India, it has to bring together the city's identity of the cultural and religious capital of India and bring it to a level wherein tourists have seamless experience and best of the experience when they visit the city, because it just not contribute to city telling what the city stands for, but also the socio-economic aspect of the city. So, so tourism as it is very important for the city. So that was the first paradigm we wanted to answer. And based on that, we took projects which answer that, starting from something as simple as developing a smart Kashi app, which had all the information for any tourist coming in. Where are the visiting places? Where are the hotels? How can I book the cab? So all the information is arrayed there on Smart Kashi app. So starting from that to developing infrastructure solutions in central business district, if we can speak so, because it's a very congested city, hardly 82 square kilometers. So the central area wherein all the tourist footfall and business happens. So that is being revamped big time. So that was not there in the video. So, so these are the projects that are being taken along with the simple beautification of many flyovers and ponds and parks that you saw in the video. These were just examples. The numbers are multiple times. So to keep the video short, a few examples were taken. So that was the first paradigm we believe needed to be answered if you are to make the city smart, because that's the identity of the city. Second was Samunnat Kashi. Now Samunnat Kashi is something that is explicitly for the citizens of the country. Samunnat of the city. Samunnat means something that's done for improving the socio-economic aspect of the city. So that not only includes making plazas, making avenues for shops to come in within that congested space. So for example, we are developing Dashashwamedh complex. If people who have visited Varanasi would know that Dashashwamedh is one of the most visited ghats along the 84 ghats that we have in the city. And you have footfall of more than 3 lakh people coming in at least within that span of hardly, it's hardly 3,000 square meter of area. So developing that whole area in progressive manner, having scope for 200 shops in a proper manner, and along with that, it also having the basic identity of the culture that it wants to depict, thousands-year-old culture. So everything has been amalgamated in forms of having tabletop maps, having museum there, a virtual museum, and also the shops. So this is basically answering the question of getting all the aspects, facets addressed within that space constraint. So that's how the city is trying to make itself smarter in the way it uses its space. Because there are 3 or 4 gospel truths about Varanasi. 1, the city is congested. 2, it's a tourist city. 3, we need to at the same time maintain the basic identity that the city stands for. So whether it be religion, whether it be culture, or whether it be handicrafts and handloom, that city is so much famous for. The third paradigm, which is very important and which is also underlying theme for many smart cities, is Ekikrat Kashi. Now, Ekikrat means integrated, and I don't think of anything more integrating than data. So in Kashi, we not only have functional integrated command and control center functional for last 2 years, we used it extensively during COVID, and believe me, this is one of the biggest icebreakers for any district administration when they are moving on to a solution that was not yet tested, because it didn't used to be that tech savvy and tech high hitherto. But last year in March, we brought about 8 different solutions. We would see it through a small video, and it was very well appreciated by the citizens of the city. Let alone different forums like Deloitte and Bain, who took them as major studies, one of the 3 cities that of India, which was selected. So this data being managed properly, as any disaster would, answering any disaster basically entails getting our resource mapped to what the requirement is, and then mobilizing those resources as soon as possible. So we were able to do that only and only because we had integrated command control center, whether it be availability of services, sanitization, ensuring lockdown management, all sorts of services. So going ahead, we are also having Kashi Geo Hub, which is functional now. We have all our GIS layers of different data there, and we can use it. I mean, all the stakeholders, whether it be citizen, private parties, businesses, they can use it now. So for example, if I am to set a shop in some part of Varanasi, I have a GIS layer which tells me what's the land use in that particular area. You go there, check the land use, you see enough number of commercials of your domain not being there, you can go in and apply for. So that's how we are using data real time, along with what government can use in terms of solid waste management, liquid waste management. That of course we are using, but this is like moving a step ahead in getting that integrated Kashi paradigm answered. Another important aspect for a city like Kashi is Suraksha. So Surakshit Kashi was another important thing which we are addressing through a 130 crore project about advanced surveillance cameras. We are putting 2,300 cameras at 700 different locations in the city for answering the express concern of safety. Being a tourist city, of course, it helps our cause when we are ranked high on safety index. And last was Sanyojit. Sanyojit as in it's properly managed. A city has a cohesive picture about it, so that eases the traffic flow, that basically makes the tourist experience better. So you have around 2,000 parking space being added through Smart City in the most congested area of the city, and these are all basement parkings with parks coming up, parks at 3 different places, adding up to around 70,000 square meters of area. So not going into much detail as to what they are, you are always free to go and visit the website. But the idea I'm trying to present is we make the city smarter by addressing the concerns what the city poses, and also superimposing on it or juxtaposing with it the advanced tech solutions which can very well fit in what the city demands. I think with this I'll rest my case. If we had that COVID video, we can have it played, and maybe questions after that.
Can we have the video, please?
कोरोना संक्रमण के लॉकडाउन को देखते हुए एक इंटीग्रेटेड कंट्रोल रूम चलाना शहर की बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता होती है। इसी को देखते हुए वाराणसी में स्मार्ट सिटी का जो कंट्रोल रूम था, उसी को इंटीग्रेटेड कंट्रोल रूम की तरह डेवलप किया गया।
जब कोविड-19 का आउटब्रेक हुआ तो ये रियलाइज किया गया कि हमको एक ऐसी फैसिलिटी की जरूरत पड़ेगी जहां पर हम लोग सभी एसोसिएटेड डिपार्टमेंट्स, चाहे वो म्यूनिसिपल सर्विसेज हो, पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट की इन्फोर्समेंट हो, डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हो, फूड एंड सिविल सप्लाईज की बात हो, या फिर मेडिकल सर्विसेज हो, तो सभी सर्विसेज को एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाना बहुत ज़रूरी था। यह रियलाइज़ किया गया और उसी के चलते इट वॉज डिसाइडेड एट हाईएस्ट लेवल बाय कमिश्नर साहब कि काशी इंटीग्रेटेड कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर वुड बी द इंटीग्रेटेड वॉर रूम फॉर कोविड-19. So since 1st April, we have been running this integrated facility here, and if I may say कि हम लोग पॉलिसी प्लानिंग, एग्जीक्यूशन और ग्रीवांस रिड्रेसल, ये तीनों ही चीज़ें कोविड-19 के कंटेक्स्ट में इंटीग्रेटेड कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर से हैंडल कर रहे हैं.
पूरे शहर की मॉनिटरिंग की गई, कहीं भी लॉकडाउन का वायलेशन हुआ उसको चेक किया गया. इसके बाद पब्लिक ग्रीवांस रिड्रेसल के लिए वहाँ पे कई डिपार्टमेंट्स को पूरे 24 घंटे के लिए 3-3 शिफ्ट में ड्यूटी लगाकर हम लोगों ने सुनिश्चित किया कि सारी की सारी कंप्लेंट्स वो रिजोल्व होती रहें.
चाहे वो फूड सप्लाई से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो राशन से रिलेटेड हो, या फिर किसी को टेलीमेडिसिन या हेल्थ सर्विसेज की दरकार हो, सीमलेसली हम लोग डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स को एक सिंगल टोल फ्री नंबर से कोरिलेट करते हुए ये सर्विस ग्रीवांस रिड्रेसल की वाराणसी में सभी लोगों को पहुंचा रहे हैं.
और 1.5 महीना बीत जाने के बाद लगभग 13,000 कंप्लेंट्स को रिजोल्व करवाया जा चुका है.
हमारी जो होम डिलीवरी का सिस्टम है, चाहे वो किराना वेंडर्स हो, चाहे साग सब्जी फल हो, चाहे हमारी मेडिसिन की होम डिलीवरी हो, तो इसको सब हमने GIS मैप्स के साथ प्रॉपर मैपिंग करके और उसके माध्यम से न केवल हम ये एग्जीक्यूट कर पा रहे हैं कि कितना एरिया हमारा इन सर्विसेज से आच्छादित है, बल्कि हम लोग ये भी देख पाते हैं कि फर्दर हमारा कौन सा ऐसा एरिया है जहाँ पर हम सर्विसेज इनफ नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, स्पेशली कंटेनमेंट जोन और हॉटस्पॉट जोन। सो इन अ नटशेल आई वुड से कि कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर और टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एनालिटिक्स का यूज़ कर जो ये महामारी है कोविड-19, उससे लड़ने में भी हम लोग काफ़ी हद तक सफल हुए हैं, बल्कि एक स्टेप अहेड हम लोग रहें ताकि एक मॉडल दे पाएँ जिसमें हम लोगों ने इसको सक्सेसफुली टेक्नोलॉजी की हेल्प से फाइट किया। थैंक यू
very much, sir. It was really heartening to see the thematic rejuvenation of Varanasi. And with that, we move on to Mr. Raj Cherubal, CEO, Chennai Smart City. Sir, for your views, please.
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I think one of the things that makes my life easy is because as you will see many presentations from Smart City, lot of convergence happening. And this is where I think I really appreciate what the central government is doing, because as you will start seeing that many of the presentations start looking alike, which is a good thing, by the way. Earlier it used to be that nobody has any idea what the other cities are doing. So today with the command and control and ATC, the intelligent traffic management system and so many other projects happening, it's amazing that many of the cities, whether it's big city or a small city, we are able to learn from each other and we are able to quickly deploy because there's a capacity issue. I think the earlier session, I forgot her name, but the madam from e-governance, right? Yes. She was from e-governance, yeah. So as she pointed out that a lot of capacity issues are there, but the fact that somebody is doing somewhere, whether it's Ahmedabad, whether it's Varanasi or Faridabad, we are able to learn from them and we are able to teach each other how to progress faster. It's a very, very good thing. I purposely put a very different presentation for you. I figured a lot of people will be speaking about ICCC, the Command and Control Center and so on. I think the issue of what do we do after COVID, what do we do during COVID has been addressed very well. And Chennai, obviously being a big city, we have addressed it in many different ways, very similar to what others have spoken. But I think what I want to point out is that we shouldn't be losing track of the fundamentals. I think COVID or no COVID, our Indian cities are in bad shape. I think all of us can agree. Anybody who's gone abroad, you'll know that the Indian cities are in pretty bad shape in terms of basic infrastructure, in terms of how we deal with disasters, in terms of future problems like climate change and so on. I just want to give you a sense of hope that I'm sure other cities are also doing this. We need to keep women and children in mind. We need to keep the poor in mind. We need to make sure that whatever we are doing is actually inclusive. I just wanted to, I think long back, 3-4 years ago when we started this, the whole smart city in Chennai, we worked with Samsung and I see this expo, by the way, is pretty amazing. Every time I come to these expos, I realize what I'm seeing here is probably the future of India. Every time I come here or expos like this, you realize within a few days, within a few years, you'll be seeing these things getting deployed somewhere. This is actually 4 years ago. We did a lot of work on smart classrooms, because as you can imagine, my kids or your kids, middle class, upper middle class children, they have access, even pre-COVID, they had access to computers, internet and so on. The question becomes, what happens to the children of poor? So we worked with Samsung to kind of develop something called a smart classroom. It was a huge hit because not only did we have digital devices, very importantly, digital outcomes. How do you ensure that the children from poor areas and poor families are able to access content which only your child and my child is able to access, right? So we started off with that. I won't get into the details because it's all on the website somewhere. But the point is that this was like a trial period for us. Initially, nobody had any idea what exactly you mean by digital classroom. Is it like computers? Is it like smart TV, etc.? What is amazing, and I'll come to a project that we are doing now. It's amazing how much progress has been made, and I won't be surprised if many of those manufacturers and technology people are already here. Then, for example, from a inclusiveness point of view, the question was what happens to children with disability. So we again piloted a sensory park, which was, of course, for every child, but the point is it was specially catering to children with special needs. Every aspect of it had something to do with children with special needs. Now the beauty is that we want to multiply this across the city. I won't get into the details again. The fact that do we create public spaces for the rich, or do we create public space for the poor? And one of the amazing things about Smart City across the country is that there's a lot of emphasis on walking, a lot of emphasis on cycling, a lot of emphasis on things which you wouldn't have heard 4 or 5 years ago. In India, it was always about cars and how to cater to people who are driving. But thanks to Smart City, there's a lot of emphasis on walking and cycling, and automatically that it becomes inclusive. I mean, it's not just the poor who's walking, it's the rich who needs to walk. In fact, COVID shows that as a country, the whole idea of comorbidity, I think everybody is now familiar with the word comorbidity. It's basically that we don't have exercise, our children are not getting exercise, we are having health issues. So I think we need to start seeing the city not in bits and pieces, but as a comprehensive piece. So basically, we've created a pedestrian plaza. Now we are actually multiplying this into almost 110 kilometers. World Bank is coming in a big way to the city in Chennai. We will be doing this urban forest and pedestrian plaza across the city, and it's a major opportunity for Chennai to become, at least in these aspects, comparable to a first world country. So as you can see that the plaza was meant for everybody. It's not just rich or only the rich shoppers. It was for poor people, poor children, men, women, elderly, youth. We had amazing amount of cultural activities happening, which was attended by pretty much anybody. Very importantly, we have restored about 210 water bodies, believe it or not, and I'm pretty impressed to see some of the other people also saying the same thing. It's amazing that we are able to scale these technologies, scale these ideas, and because of this, we have probably saved trillions of tons of water under the ground, and this is for a water-starved city like Chennai, it's a major achievement. So I'll conclude with this. Point is not about, like Garima and others had spoken about, the point is not simply about doing this or that, bits and pieces here and there. How do we scale? So this is something from the experience of Smart Classroom and other things we've done. We actually got selected as one of the cities challenge, which is a French government funded project. We are actually taking up a bunch of corporation schools and completely transforming it. It's one of the revolutionary projects I can think of. Not only the physical outcome in terms of how the classroom will look like, how the layout will look like, glamour of it. What we are hoping, our commissioner is also hoping, is that we want middle class and upper middle class lining up outside our schools, asking how come my child is not getting into this school. We want the corporation schools to be of that caliber, but it's not simply about look and feel, but it is about teacher training, sports, digital, artificial intelligence for helping different children learn at different paces. So instead of 40 children being shouted at and screamed at by one teacher, what we want to do is customize the education, making sure that each child is able to develop at his or her own pace. So I'll stop with that. I think others have actually spoken what many of us are doing in other cities. It's nice to see Faridabad, Ahmedabad and Varanasi doing amazing work. We have learned a ton from it, and thanks to people like the Secretary Mahua and Joint Secretary and so on, the emphasis is in collaboration. So it's not like Ahmedabad does something and nobody cares, or we do something and nobody cares. There's a lot of emphasis on learning from each other. And thanks to these kinds of expos, we are able to kind of figure out what is the next generation of technologies and processes that we need to adopt so that we can also catch up with the first world. So I stop with this. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raj. I think it was very nice to see inclusiveness as part of the complete agenda of the smart city. With that, I move on to Mr. Aditya Singh from Bhopal Smart City. So, would like to see what Bhopal has been able to do in the last 5 years.
Good afternoon, everyone, honorable members of the panels and my patient audience. Bhopal Smart City was chosen in the first phase of the 20 smart cities when the mission was launched initially. So we had an edge from the beginning, and we had projects which were taken in the initial phase, and now we are in the completion phase of most of the projects. All the pan city projects have been completed, including the infrastructure projects that we have taken, and now we are focusing entirely on the area-based development that we are doing in the most posh area of Bhopal, that is TT Nagar, which is very much close to the commercial as well as the secretariat area. So just to give you a brief idea regarding what is the concept of area-based development that we are going to do here, I'll just request my team to play a video of area-based development that we have here.
Government of India plans to implement Smart City program, which will transform 100 Indian cities to smart cities in next 5 years. Under this program, TT Nagar, area of Bhopal city, had been selected for redevelopment. More than 90% of land in this area is owned by government. Proposal includes redevelopment of 342 acre of North and South TT Nagar. The project is designed to be a benchmark of development. The project redevelops the area as high quality, high density mixed use district of residential, commercial and open space facilities that optimize land and real estate values. It is strategically located between two primary transport axes, BRTS and proposed metro. In the ABD area, 114 acre out of 342 acres shall be available for sale or lease, which includes construction of government houses, Hard Bazaar, commercial complex, dedicated ICT infrastructure for security, etc. like cameras, panic buttons, environmental sensors, and intelligent street lights, an entire 17 km of smart road network within the project area.
So basically, this is one of the major projects that we have, area-based development, where we are developing this 342 acres of the land in the same concept that we have told you now. So according to the livability index, Bhopal is one of the most green, and it is a city of lakes as well. So we have to maintain that flavor of Bhopal in any of the project that we are doing. So in the same project, we have developed around 50 acres of green spaces, wherein there was a major Dashera Maidan which we have extended to double of the size. Along with that, we are developing a center park. If you have happened to seen the Central Park of New York, we are developing around 50 acres of Central Park in that area, along with water bodies, amusement parks, along with play area for the children and the elderly. Other than that, the roads and other infrastructure that we are having have all the utility ducts, where if we have to lay down an optical fiber cable or a pipeline for drinking water or sanitation or any other even electrical wiring, if we have to do, we don't have to dig even 1 inch of road that we have already constructed. And in the entire ABD area, we are giving 6-lane roads along with a walking track, a cycling track, and a central and side green bulb. So whenever you happen to be in Bhopal, since it is not included in the video, recently we have completed our Boulevard street named Atal Path, and it's a state-of-the-art road, which is one of the most talked points of the smart city in Bhopal. Regarding the mobility aspect, since traffic is going to be one of the major concerns in future, and in Bhopal also, because it was planned in a very nice way, but still we are having this problem of traffic, we are trying to promote an end-mile connectivity with the public transport, wherein from metro to the BRTS, the bus services, and through the e-bikes, we are trying to connect. If somebody wants to get out from his house and wants to reach to his office, and he doesn't want to walk and So he can have a e-bike in front of his residence and take it to the BRTS corridor where he can have a bus, and through bus or metro he can reach his end final destination. So we have launched e-bike, which will be coming soon in Bhopal. Already we are the first smart city to have e-vehicles being used by EESL, and we already have an electric vehicle charging corridor wherein we have selected 150 locations wherein you can have a free electric vehicle charging, and Bhopal Smart City will be earning revenue on every unit of 70 paisa as well. So again, just to take a few minutes on the ABD project before I go to the COVID experience. Another unique feature about Bhopal Smart City is now that we are not dependent on government fund. Out of the 1,000 crore grant that was to be given, we have already spent 950 crores, and now we are selling land in this ABD area. So the entire project that you have seen, 114 acres of land we are going to sell, and we have already raised 300 crores of money through the sale of plots. And in the next phase, we are again going to raise 500 crores, so total of 800 crores we are going to generate this year. So what was the feature that made, and we are the only SPV in the country which doesn't depend upon the government for the future and for the completion of their projects. So the major reason was the support of the government of Madhya Pradesh, that they have given a free hold right on this kind of land. We are not giving the land to you on a lease basis. We are selling you it. You will have a title right over it, and you can either resell it or develop it depending upon your, I will say, significance. And second one is the completion of infrastructure. In the last 2 months, Bhopal Smart City has completed around 350 crores of infrastructure projects, including roads, parks, electrification, landscaping, and the kind of confidence that people have come up with because of the kind of infrastructure we have developed has made the investors come from around the world and take land in our area. And third one is the single window clearance that is being given by Bhopal Smart City. Once the tender and the bidding process is over, within 2 days we do all the paperwork, and on the third day the person is having his right over the land. So these kind of things helped us to raise the confidence of the investors, and we are now a SPV who can confidently say that we in the near future can generate our own revenue, and we'll be completing our projects on that basis. For COVID, everybody has given certain insights regarding what they have done, and COVID has been a global challenge, and most of the people have faced the same challenge. But still, I'll just show you a video of 2 minutes that we have done in the Bhopal for whatever efforts we have taken.
लिमिटेड भोपाल को संवारने के साथ कोरोना काल में लोगों का सहारा भी बन रही है। स्मार्ट सिटी कंपनी के ICCC और ITMS को कॉल सेंटर कंट्रोल रूम बनाया गया, जहां से लोगों के घर दवाएं और जरूरी सामान पहुंचाया जा रहा है। घरों में बीमार नागरिकों को इलाज के लिए अस्पताल पहुंचाया गया और उपचार के बाद घर लौटने की व्यवस्था भी स्मार्ट सिटी कंपनी के कंट्रोल रूम से ही की गई। स्मार्ट सिटी कंपनी के कॉल सेंटर नंबर पर मदद मांगने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति की सहायता के लिए यहाँ के कर्मचारी तत्पर हैं और दिन रात काम कर रहे हैं। जिला प्रशासन, नगर पालिक निगम और भोपाल स्मार्ट सिटी कंपनी के वरिष्ठ अधिकारी ICCC और ITMS स्थित कंट्रोल रूम का नियमित निरीक्षण कर नागरिकों की सहायता करने के इस कार्य को सुचारू रूप से करने में अपनी अहम भूमिका निभा रहे हैं।
यहाँ जो स्मार्ट सिटी के द्वारा पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स जिनको कि होम आइसोलेशन में छोड़ा गया है, उनका वीडियो कॉलिंग के माध्यम से रेगुलर मॉनिटरिंग की जा रही है, जो कि काफ़ी सराहनीय है। इसके साथ ही आई ऑल्सो सॉ कैसे ICCC के द्वारा ट्रेंड एनालिसिस कोविड का और पॉजिटिविटी एनालिसिस रेगुलरली किया जाता है, विच रिपोर्ट्स हेल्प अस कि हम अपनी जो सैम्पलिंग है उसको कैसे और ज़्यादा टारगेटेड तरीके से शहर में यूज़ कर सकें।
सभी चिकित्सक और उनके साथ में जुटा हुआ अमला पूरे मनोयोग से कार्य कर रहा है। आम जनता से भी इस सहयोग की हम अपेक्षा करते हैं। पूरे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग को फॉलो करेंगे और साथ ही बाजार में जहाँ भीड़ भाड़ भरे इलाके हों उसके अंदर जाने से बचेंगे। यदि हम सब कोविड की सुरक्षा के संबंध में जारी दिशा निर्देशों का पालन करेंगे तो बहुत जल्दी ही इस समस्या से हम निजात पा सकेंगे।
ICCC कंट्रोल रूम से कोविड-19 पॉजिटिव मरीजों की लगातार मॉनिटरिंग की जा रही है। वीडियो कॉल के माध्यम से डॉक्टर हर घंटे मरीज से उनकी सेहत की जानकारी लेते हैं।
हाँ, कैसे हो अभी आप? टेम्परेचर लिया आज आपने?
और आवश्यकता पड़ने पर जरूरी चिकित्सीय सुविधाएं मुहैया कराई जाती है। लॉकडाउन के दौरान एवं उपरांत नागरिकों की कोरोना प्रभावित इलाकों, कंटेनमेंट एरिया एवं अन्य समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए ICCC कॉल सेंटर में 24/7 अलग अलग शिफ्ट्स में अधिकारियों व कर्मचारियों की ड्यूटी लगाई जा रही है। कोरोना को हराने की इस मुहिम में भोपाल स्मार्ट सिटी कंपनी अन्य कोरोना वॉरियर्स के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर काम कर रही है। भोपाल स्मार्ट सिटी कोरोना से लड़ने में नागरिकों का मनोबल बढ़ाने के साथ उनकी मददगार भी साबित हो रही है।
So overall, we have also used a ICCC for call center and also for the I will say locating of the resources. But the major lessons that we will say we learned is that we should always take this kind of challenges as a source of opportunity. So one of the basic rarity about Bhopal Smart City is the incubation center. We have a state-of-the-art incubation center wherein we have incubated around 150 startups. And when this pandemic has struck us, we were like, the unemployment will be one of the major problems, like one of my colleague was also saying. So we tried to pitch in our startups to, give them opportunity to the local people also, and to have a kind of employment and business generation for their own also in the case of this pandemic. So some of them were using drones, some of them were having the sanitization processes that they were doing. So all the public buses we used to sanitize through them. Through the monitoring of drones, if we have to take, we used to take their support. And also some of them were having medical appliances and medical kits that they were supplying. So we pitched them into that, and many of our startups have actually made profit and make recognition in the country during the time of pandemic. So I think that was one of the major things that we did here. So with that, I'll just conclude my session here, and I'll request you to kindly look into the land monetization policy of Bhopal, because the future will lie in the TT Nagar area of Bhopal that we are developing, and I'll be very much happy to have any questions if you'll ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it was very heartening to see the changes and the new innovative solutions that have come in, especially with the incubation center coming up. And I wish to thank each one of you for taking your time out, sharing your experiences and the things that have made each of your cities so vibrant. Thank you so much. And as ma'am said, I think this is one of the platforms where it's not that we are restricted to the areas and cities that we are in, but it's a platform where a lot of exchange of ideas as well as data can be done to make further improvement in the way the citizens live their lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to all the distinguished speakers. I would now request Ms. Nitika Chhabra to felicitate all the speakers with a small memento from Exhibitions India Group. Let's start with Dr. Garima Mittal, Faridabad Smart City. Mr. Nitin Sangwan, Aditya Singh, Bhopal Smart City Limited. Mr. Gaurang Rathi, Varanasi Smart City. And Mr. Raj Cherubal, Chennai Smart Cities. Thank you so much for enlightening us so much with the smart cities and their response to pandemic and what they are doing in such a simple manner. And I request all of you to join us for a lunch. It's being served in the VIP, speaker lounge. We'll escort you to the place. So please join us. And one photograph, please.